Hello and welcome to episode 3 of Sustainable Weight Loss. My name is Dr. Leslie Goth. It is once again my absolute pleasure to be with you here today. Today we are going to talk about the topic of healthy habits and what does that mean, healthy habits? So if you want to have weight loss that's sustainable, you need to start to develop some habits that would be considered healthy. Things that can be sustained over the rest of your life, not something that you're going to start and stop. For example, of an unhealthy habit. I'm going to go to the gym 2 hours every day in order to get my weight loss goals. That's not sustainable, going to the gym 2 hours every day. It's going to impact your lifestyle, it's going to impact your relationships, it's going to impact your body, and it's just not something that you can do anywhere, anytime, any day. And we want to develop healthy habits that you can do anywhere, anytime, whether you're traveling, whether you're home, whether it's your birthday, whether it's a Monday, whatever day it is. You want to be able to develop healthy habits that you can sustain the rest of your life in order to have weight loss that is also sustainable for the rest of your life. So we're just kind of building a foundation of how to have weight loss in a sustainable way. So we do need to talk about healthy habits. For example, the first healthy habit that I want to talk to you about is water. And all the healthy habits that I'm about to go over are pretty obvious and probably very simplistic as well, but there's still things that we do need to talk about because they often get taken for granted. They often are the first things to go in life when we're stressed, when we're just doing our life, and we don't realize how important these things really are. So let's talk about water. Are you drinking enough water? Water is so important for so many reasons. It's hydrating, it's filling. A lot of times, many people think they're hungry when actually they're thirsty. And so drinking water is just a great way to maintain your hunger and to know whether it's true hunger or not true hunger. So drinking water will help sustain satiation in your body. It's good for your skin. It helps kind of flush out your system and keep the metabolism going. So for just many, many reasons that are probably super obvious, water is very, very important to you and in a healthy habit, sustainable way. So think about how much liquid you tend to drink in a day. How much of it is water, how much of it is juice, how much of it is soda, how much of it is alcohol. And I just really want you to be mindful and intentional to make sure you're getting enough water. We've all heard over the years, 60 ounces of water is probably enough, or half your body weight is probably enough. You don't want to drink too much water either, because then you could really be hurting your internal organs. So you want to find that right sweet spot for yourself, what's doable for you. So certainly when you're thirsty, that's a good time to be drinking water. And how do you facilitate drinking enough water? Why don't you make sure you have water available to you? So if you work outside the home, bring a water bottle, make sure you're filling the water bottle. At home, make sure you have a glass of water, easy access so that it's not a pain in the butt. Now, I also hear a lot of people say they just don't like the taste of water, and I get that. However, we can do something about that to kind of spice it up. And I would recommend putting lemon in your water or diffusing fruit in your water, trying to, give it a little oomph so that you can enjoy drinking water and getting all the benefits for your body, mind, skin, metabolism, and weight loss by drinking enough water. The next thing that I want to discuss with you is sleep. Sleep, we take for granted. Sleep, sometimes I hear people say, I don't need that much sleep, or 6 hours a night is enough for me. Not true. The goal is truly 8 hours of sleep a night. And if you're not getting that, then the body is depleted, it's deficient. It could also affect your hunger. When we don't get enough sleep, we are more hungry. So in order to, again, be mindful on your hunger, getting enough sleep is super important. It's also super important in managing our stress, because when we're stressed, we might tend to turn to food for that emotional comfort. So if you're getting enough sleep, you're more apt to manage your daily stress in a very rational, stable way, and therefore not have to turn to food for energy or emotional support. So there are sleep apps that you can get to kind of monitor your sleep. but typically you know when you wake up in the morning if you've had a good quality of sleep. So be monitoring that. Be open to looking at your sleep habits and how you can maybe shift some things to encourage really good sleep on a nightly basis. Now, hormones can have a lot to do with poor sleep. When I was going through menopause, my sleep was erratic. It was all over the place. I was waking up at all hours of the night and not getting much quality of sleep at all. So really being mindful of what are the factors that could be impacting your sleep. Could it be hormones? Could it be stress? Could it be that you're on your screen right before you go to sleep? Things like that are all going to negatively impact your sleep. Versus what's called good sleep hygiene, how you set yourself up at night for good sleep, is super important to be looking at. So are you going to bed at the same time every night? Are you managing your stress throughout the day so that it's not racing in your thoughts in the middle of the night? Things like that. So being aware of what creates good sleep hygiene, which are routines, going to bed at the same time, getting up at the same time, putting your stress away for the day so that you can get a good night's sleep. And if you do wake up in the middle of the night, having tools that will help you go back to sleep. Meditations, soft music, things like that. Next, we're going to talk about exercise. Now, you don't have to be crazy with your exercise. We want it to be something that's sustainable. So again, thinking that you have to set a goal of 2 hours a day at the gym, not going to be sustainable, not good for your body either. What's some type of exercise that you can start to incorporate into your life on a daily or weekly basis that's sustainable? So for myself, for example, I do 30 to 45 minutes of my exercise, and it's gentle exercise. It might be a bike ride, a walk, yoga, stretching. What's going to be sustainable and manageable and something that you actually look forward to doing, because exercise needs to be fun. It does not need to be punishment or something that you do only so that you can eat a hamburger. Exercise needs to be something that your body really looks forward to, just moving, getting your heart pumping, stimulating your brain, not something that you dread and feel like it's something you have to do, and then when you don't do it, you're just covered in guilt and shame. So think about what type of exercise for you is going to be doable and sustainable. A walk, swimming, biking, maybe mixing it up, doing a little bit of everything so that there's nice variety in your life. So find a way to be moving your body that is sustainable. And it doesn't have to be your typical forms of exercise. It could be going out and dancing. It could be dancing in your bedroom. It could be so many things that it doesn't have to be in a gym with weights or things like that. So exercise and incorporating that into your healthy habits is a great way to just feel good in general, but also if you are looking to lose some weight, it's a great way to be able to lose it and then sustain it. The last thing I want to address with you today is your relationship with food. Your relationship with food is part of having healthy habits, how you approach your food, how you see your food, and literally how you relate to food. And I remember when I first started talking about this to the women that I work with, and they thought, I never thought about the way I am with food as an actual relationship. I always thought it was just about a diet, right? It's about food. It's not about how I relate to it, how I see it. What do I say to myself when I engage with food? There tends to be a lot of guilt and shame if you've been on diets for a long time, that there's good food and bad food. That sets up a very unhealthy relationship with food. Or if you feel guilt or shame after eating certain foods or eating too much, that doesn't set you up to have a good relationship with food. So the first step in having a good relationship with food, in order to have this as one of your healthy habits, is to remove the shame and guilt from food. For example, what if you could start to see food as neither good nor bad, but just as energy? Food is just energy, and thinking about how food makes you feel, just like any relationship you're in. How does this relationship make you feel? Does it uplift you? Does it give you energy? Does it make you feel warm and fuzzy inside? Or does it make you feel heavy? Does it make you feel guilty and shameful? Does it make you feel bad about yourself? So this is an important mindset to have as you approach food and your relationship to food. We want to get rid of the stigma. We want to get rid of the judgment around food. Food is just food. Food is energy, and it makes you feel a certain way. If you eat a whole pizza, it's going to make you feel a certain way. If you have 1 or 2 slices, that's going to make you feel very different, isn't it? So think about how food makes you feel without any judgment, and then you can start to have a much healthier relationship with food. Food does not have to be good or bad. Any food can be bad, right? If you eat too much salad, that's not going to be good for you. If you eat too much of anything, that's not going to be good for you. So really it is about balance. It's about no shame or guilt. And it's knowing that you can eat whatever you want within balance so that you can have that healthy relationship with food. So that's what I kind of want to challenge you with. These healthy habits: water, sleep, exercise, and your relationship with food. Start to just really notice, where are you at and where do you want to be in all of these areas to have healthy habits so that they can be sustainable. The one last healthy habit that I'm actually going to create its own episode for is self-care. There's so many aspects of your self-care that we need to get into that I'm going to let that be its own episode. So stay tuned for that. But for today, just start to be mindful, start to be evaluating where you're at with water, sleep, exercise, and your relationship with food, and be open to making some changes so that you can engage with healthy habits for the rest of your life. So that's it for today. Thanks again for joining this weight loss episode and how to do it in a sustainable, healthy, caring, gentle way towards yourself, because you deserve that. So stay tuned for our next episode coming up next week. Bye-bye for now.